When Japanese entities invade Earth, a group of students will have to face a series of insane tests in order to survive. Today we're going to recap the story of the movie As the Gods Will from 2014. Among the students in Tokyo, a young man called Shun Takahata always stood out for his great intellect. But because he was smarter than the others, he began to feel bored and asked the gods for a challenge. At his request and that of other gifted youngsters, the Daruma entity invades Shun's room, who is so distracted that he doesn't even notice the spirit right in front of him. Because of this, he almost moves and narrowly misses a brutal fatality, escaping having his brains blown out at the last second. Realizing that they can't move while the puppet looks on, the other students stand still and wait until he turns around, taking advantage of the moment to run for the door, only to discover that they are locked in the room until the game is over. As they try to leave, Daruma turns around and blows the heads off two participants in the doorway, then turns back around. Desperate, the students begin to panic and the young Satake manages to calm everyone down, explaining that they are trapped inside the Daruma Sanga Karanda, a game in which the entity turns its back and starts repeating the name of the challenge, turning around as it finishes the sentence. From the moment Daruma faces the students, those who move will have their brains turned into thousands of little red balls. When everyone is despairing again, Satake tells them that he has a way to end the challenge and warns them about the button on the doll's back, saying that all they have to do is press it to end the game. Wanting to end the nightmare, another student takes advantage of the fact that Daruma is speaking slowly and decides to run towards him, but as soon as he realizes this, the entity finishes the sentence at an absurd speed and turns around immediately afterwards, seeing the student move and making his head pop like popcorn. Instead of staying calm and thinking of a way to beat the entity, the students notice the counter on Daruma's back and become even more desperate when they discover that there is less than a minute to go until the challenge is over, causing most of them to run towards the doll and get eliminated. With just over 10 seconds left, only Shun and Satake are still standing and they decide to join forces to win the challenge. The bespectacled young man then bends down and serves as a support for Takahata to jump, managing to press the button on the doll's back with 1 second left on the clock. After being defeated, Daruma announces that the game is over and both Shun and Satake celebrate, but while they're greeting each other, the other young man's head explodes and the crazy doll announces that only Takahata has pressed the button, so only he has won the challenge. Unable to believe what has just happened, Shun begins to ask for help when Daruma interrupts the silence to say that he is a mouse and that the cat is coming. The clue to the next challenge. Suddenly, the living room door opens and her childhood friend Ichika Akamoto appears in a state of shock. Wanting to help her, Takahata approaches her and asks what happened, discovering that she also went through the Daruma Sanga Karanda, but that when the girl pressed the button, all her classmates were automatically eliminated. When he hears the story, Shun tells him that the same thing happened to him and says that they should call the police, but when he picks up his cell phone, he realizes that they have no signal at all. But at least they are not alone. In the center of the court, several other students are gathered and some of them are dressed as rats, taking on the role that Daruma said. As he approaches, Shun sees some kanji on the ground and realizes that they are the instructions for the next challenge, saying that they must